for a second day in a row, Governor Mike DeWine providing an update on the extra security now in place in Springfield, Ohio. Today, 2 more schools in the community faced bomb threats. Both were hoaxes. This comes as the town continues to face threats after false claims of migrants eating pets. The comment sparking national attention after last week's presidential debate.
Well, today, Governor DeWine was joined by the Ohio Department of Health and the Department of Public Safety. Together, they addressed issues caused by what the governor calls a surge in migrants in the city.
TV's Colin Dorsey back in Springfield today with an update on how the community is grappling with this national spotlight. Colin.
Right. Some people in this community, Haitian or not, are scared. As you mentioned, another threat was called into one of the high schools today. And the Springfield City School Superintendent says even with that threat, today was the closest to a normal school day they've had.
So now here's my question. Why do you guys think that so many bomb threats are being called in? What's the point of that? Do you guys think that does that help anything? Is that going to improve any situations, or is that going to make anything worse? If you ask me, calling in the bomb threats, it's just going to make things worse. It's not going to help anything. It's not how you go about dealing with a problem like this. I don't know who thinks that that's a good idea. I don't know why people think that it's a good idea. I don't know how it's justified, but it keeps happening. Shout out to everybody that's watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. We got 16 people watching and we got 16 likes. We are on the 1-1. So shout out to everybody for getting on that 1-1 early. Let's try to stay on it. And let's also try to get the likes to 36 or to 32. If everybody can throw them 100s in the chat, that would be great. I really appreciate it. Let's get it.
In a week. However, with the added law enforcement inside Springfield City Schools, some parents still keeping their kids home from class. Attendance was down today, and teachers and students were noticeably upset about the events of this past week. The governor in a news conference that ended just about 20 minutes ago says they have enough resources in the schools that parents should feel safe sending their kids back to class.
We are going to continue the protocol that we started this morning. We will continue this protocol as long as it is necessary. So you can be assured that we will have troopers there. We will have troopers who are visible.
We'd like those that on the national stage that can bring peace, that can tamper their words and speak truth. That's what Springfield is asking. We need peace. We need help, not hate.
And there have been rumblings that former President Donald Trump could make an appearance in Springfield later this week or next. The mayor of Springfield saying that either candidate coming to the community right now would put a significant strain on resources that are already stretched thin, and both should consider not coming.
So there's that. They don't want them to come. They don't want either candidate to come to Springfield. They just want to get back to normal life. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at your boy, Leonel Moreno. How many people know who Leonel Moreno is? Leonel Moreno is this guy right here. Migrant influencer Leonel Moreno, who encouraged migrants to be squatters, has been ordered deported. But what they're saying is that it's not likely that he will get kicked out of the country. So why do you guys think that he won't end up getting kicked out of the country? We're going to find out. Migrant influencer Leonel Moreno, who went viral on TikTok for encouraging illegal border crossers to squat in U.S. homes, was ordered deported by an immigration judge. But he likely won't be kicked out of the country anyway because of a diplomatic row. An Ohio-based immigration judge ordered the 27-year-old Venezuelan migrant, who also waved around wads of cash on social media and flaunted what he said were U.S. government handouts, to be removed from the United States on September 9th, according to Homeland Security sources. Now, let me ask you guys this question. This dude is Venezuelan, and he was waving around all that money. How many people think that there's a possibility this dude could be linked in with Trinde Argua? Shout out to Shatera. What's good with it, Shatera? If you guys think that there's a possibility that this guy could be linked in with Trinde Argua, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think so, then give me a thumbs down. Moreno crossed the southern border illegally into Eagles Pass on April 23rd of 2022. All right, look at him with the look. He bought a baby cash. You know what I'm saying? Like Tron. He was released into the country, but failed to appear for required check-ins with immigration and customs enforcement, leading to his arrest in Columbus, Ohio. Now, mind you, he had time to make all this TikTok content, and he posted on TikTok, and he was going around giving people advice on how to illegally extort the United States. But for whatever reason, he wasn't able to make his appointment to be able to stay into the country lawfully. So that shows what type of priorities this guy had. You know what I'm saying? But despite the judge's decree, a halt on deportation flights to Venezuela could hinder the order. How many people were aware that there's been a halt on Venezuelan flights? We're going to look into that a little bit more. We're definitely look into that a little bit more. Seems like people are now, aware of Tren de Aragua, and what ends up happening is that Venezuela has halted flights of deported migrants from U.S. and Mexico. Interesting. Earlier this year, President Nicolas Maduro's administration stopped accepting flights of migrants deported from the U.S. and Mexico in retaliation for Washington reimposing economic sanctions on the South American country, the Wall Street Journal reported. How many people were aware that had went down? If you guys were aware that went down, give me a thumbs up. If you guys were not aware that went down, give me a thumb. If you guys were aware that went down, give me a thumbs up. If you were not aware that went down, give me a thumbs down. The U.S. said Caracas has failed to restore democratic order, the outlet explained. The almost weekly flights from the U.S. to Venezuela came to a halt in late January, U.S. officials told the Journal. President Nicolas Maduro's administration followed through on its threats to delete an agreement reached last October for flights to go into the country after the U.S. reimposed economic sanctions on the country, saying Caracas had failed to restore democratic order, the outlet explained. So when they say failed to quote unquote restore democratic order, I'm assuming they're talking about their election. The candidate that the United States was interested in and invested in did not secure the presidential position. And they're saying that there was quote unquote election interference. And I'm assuming that that's what they're talking about. There are also no direct commercial flights from the U.S. to Venezuela after the Department of Transportation suspended them in 2019, citing reports of unrest and violence. So there you go with his baby that he bought straight cash, looking kind of, Meanwhile, a new wave of migrant crime from the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua has emerged in the United States, including in New York City, where a 19-year-old gangbanger was accused of shooting 2 police officers in June. And you guys recall the higher-ups in that gang put the green light out for this gang to be violent toward police here in the United States. Moreno isn't linked to the gang, to their knowledge, right? But still, he has used his large social media following to encourage migrants from his home country to invade abandoned houses while boasting about the support they could receive from the United States government. I didn't cross the Rio Grande to work like a slave, Moreno said in one Instagram clip while waving around $100 bills. Moreno also admitted to using his 1-year-old U.S. citizen baby as a prop in his viral posts, one of which was taken at the hospital after his daughter's birth. Now, let me ask you guys this question about his daughter's birth. How much money do you think he spent on his daughter's birth? Next question. How much money do you think taxpayers spent on his daughter's birth? Okay. He bragged that he and his wife didn't pay anything to have their daughter, thanks to Papa Biden. Looking kind of crazy right there. Looking kind of crazy. He's got a YouTube thumbnail friendly face, wouldn't you guys say? If you guys say he's got a face made for YouTube thumbnails, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys don't think that he's got a face made for YouTube thumbnails, give me a thumbs down. Intelligence officials investigating Moreno's case have also alleged he was a sergeant of the Venezuelan General Directorate of Military Intelligence, according to sources. So remember, these are these talks where we're talking about quote unquote military age men and the quote unquote allegations of a military invasion. According to these sources here, the sources are saying there's a possibility that he was a sergeant of the Venezuelan General Directorate of Military Intelligence, according to sources. So you'd have to ask, if he had that type of position in the military, why did he come to the United States? Why did he come here? He later claimed in court that he was a rank and file soldier in the Venezuelan Navy. Moreno remains in custody at the Geauga County Jail in Ohio, where he's been laying low, Geauga County Sheriff Scott Hildenbrand previously told the Post. The migrant also spoke to the Post from jail in April, where he wailed about being a victim of unjust persecution. I think he set himself up for it. I came here to the United States because of persecution in my country, but they're doing the same thing to me in the United States. They're persecuting me, Moreno moaned. Maybe you kind of asked for it. You know? It's all misinformation in the media about me. They're defaming me. They're misrepresenting me in the news. I'm a good father. I'm a good husband, good son, good person, humble, respectful to people who respect me, he added. I would disagree. It doesn't seem like he was very respectful in some of those posts that he made on his social media to American taxpayers. It seemed like he was extremely disrespectful to American taxpayers.